TikTok is going to be banned unless...
How do you feel about companies that are owned by, let's say, Chinese nationals, but they operate it out of, like, the British Virgin Islands? So that would affect Telegram then.
Who owns Telegram?
Russian dudes.
This is a law that was passed by Congress that would have forced Merrick Garland to ban TikTok, basically. This bill prohibits distributing, maintaining, or providing internet hosting services for a foreign adversary controlled application. However, the prohibition does not apply to a covered application that executes a qualified divestiture as determined by the president. Under the bill, a foreign adversary controlled application is directly or indirectly operated by ByteDance Ltd. or TikTok. Or TikTok, including subsidiaries or successors that are controlled by a foreign adversary, or two, a social media company that is controlled by a foreign adversary and has been determined by the president to present a significant threat to national security. The prohibition does not apply to an application that is primarily used to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews. The bill authorizes the Department of Justice to investigate violations of the bill and enforce the bill's provisions. Entities that violate the bill are subject to civil penalties based on the number of users. The bill requires a covered application to provide a user with all available account data, including posts, photos, and videos, at the user's request before the prohibition takes effect. User all available account. Okay. The bill gives the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia exclusive jurisdiction over any challenge to the bill. Further, a challenge to the bill must be brought within 165 days after the bill's enactment date. A challenge to any action, finding, or determination under the bill must be brought within 90 days of the action, finding, or determination. I don't know if I want to get like super into the actual wordings of the bill, but the interesting part I think is I wonder if there's text within the bill that defines what is a foreign adversary. If we have a definition of that, I'm curious. And then what does it mean when a social media company is controlled by a foreign adversary? Let's say that ByteDance buys a 20% equity stake in my company. Does the president have the ability to say that? Because here it gives the president the ability to determine if any company that is controlled by a foreign adversary presents a significant threat to national security. I'm also curious, what is the maximum civil penalty for stuff like this? Is it just inordinate amounts of cash, or can they like shut you down? Or it also gives an escape clause, and it seems like this escape is solely at the discretion of the president, which is a little bit scary, I think, but because you have... The prohibition does not apply to a covered application that executes a qualified divestiture as determined by the president. So the president of the United States seems to have the legal ability to exclude somebody or say that somebody is, this wouldn't apply to them basically, that they have done something that qualifies as a divestiture, and so you're no longer subject to the civil penalties that are outlined in this bill. It would also probably prohibit you from working on these things as well too, right? Like TikTok and all these companies, if they hired you, because then you'd be maintaining and updating these things as well. So this would target like everybody associated with this thing, I think. Foreign adversary control application violations. Any that violates subsection A shall be subject to pay a civil penalty in an amount not to exceed the amount that results from multiplying $5,000 by the number of users within the land or maritime borders of the United States determined to have accessed, maintained, or updated a foreign adversary control application as a result of such violation. So how many TikTok users in the USA? 170 million people. Is that even that much of a, well, it's probably, you could probably do this like every month or year or something, right? It's 170 million people, which would be, oh, I'm sorry, hold on, $5,000 each. I was thinking like $5 or $50 each. Wait, that's an insane amount of money. Sorry. Because 150 million times 5 is 500 plus 350 is 850 million. So 50 would be 8.5 billion. 500 would be 85 billion. And $5,000 would be 850 billion. So there'd be an $850 billion civil penalty, which is That's a big guy. An entity that violates subsection B shall be subject to pay a civil penalty. The amount not exceed this. Okay, action by Attorney General. Okay, the Attorney General shall conduct investigations related to potential violations of subsections A or B, and if such an investigation results in a determination that a violation has occurred, the AG shall pursue enforcement under paragraph 1 and may bring an action in an appropriate district court of the United States for appropriate relief, including civil penalties under paragraph 1 or declaratory and injunctive relief. Severability in general of any provision of the section or the application of the section to any person or circumstance is held invalid. The invalidity shall not affect the other provisions or applications of this section that can be given effect without the invalid provision or application. If the application of any provision of this section is held invalid with respect to a foreign adversary controlled application that satisfies the definition of such term pursuant to subsections 3GA, such invalidity shall not affect or preclude the application of the same provision of this section to such foreign adversary controlled application by means of a subsequent determination pursuant to subsection G3B. Nothing in this act may be construed to authorize the AG to pursue enforcement under this section other than enforcement of subsection A or B, to authorize the AG to pursue enforcement under the section against an individual user of a foreign adversary controlled application, or, except as expressly provided herein, to alter or affect any other authority provided by or established under another provision of federal law. Definitions. Okay, so we have a definition section. That's good. So controlled by a foreign adversary. The term controlled by a foreign adversary means with respect to a covered company or other entity that such a company or other entity is a foreign person that is domiciled in or is headquartered in, has its principal place of business in, or is organized under the laws of a foreign adversary country, entity, or an entity with respect to which a foreign person or combination of foreign persons described in subparagraph A directly or indirectly owns at least a 20% stake, or a person subject to the direction or control of a foreign person or entity described in subparagraph A or B. And then a covered company in general, the term, this is a little bit interesting because this might create a civil cause of action for other things that we wouldn't find as related. So like that tenant media stuff, that was a company that existed in the United States of America. I wonder if this would create a private cause of action for the federal government to also sue under this law. You can't do it like retroactively, but to sue like some shit like that if money was flowing in and you weren't supposed to be. It would also create like civil penalties under this, I think. Covered company. In general, the term covered company means an entity that operates directly or indirectly, including through a parent company, subsidiary, or affiliate, a website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology. It's good to read through stuff like this also. We're reading it through because we should read it through, okay? It's good to read through stuff like this also because, like, I guarantee you there are going to be debates coming up where people are going to say retarded shit like, well, what if it's like 5 different foreign actors in different company or in different countries? Like, generally they're going to be carve-outs or stuff like this, or it's going to include it. Or like, well, what if it's just a parent company that owns it and the real company is in China? It's like, yeah, generally this is covered in law. It's not like they're not retards, usually. So it's always good to have this too. Okay. Permits a user to create an account or profile to generate, share, and view text, images, videos, or real-time communications or similar content. Has more than 1 million monthly active users with respect to at least 2 of the 3 months preceding the date. Oh, wait, the term covered means an entity that operates. Oh, wait, okay. So this would exclude like the tenant media thing, I think. Okay. And 3, enables 1 or more users to generate or distribute content that can be viewed by other users of the website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application, and enable, okay. Jesus, this is like razor targeting fucking TikTok. Is there any other company right now that anybody's talked about that this would even apply to? Or would this literally only be TikTok? Exclusion. The term covered company does not include an entity that operates a website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application whose primary purpose to allow users to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews. Foreign adversary control application. The term foreign adversary control application means a website, desktop application, that is any of ByteDance, TikTok, a subsidiary or a successor to an entity identified in clause 1 or 2 that's controlled by a foreign adversary, or an entity owned or controlled directly or indirectly by an entity identified in clauses 1, 2, or 3. Or B, a company that is controlled by a foreign adversary and that is determined by the president to present a significant threat to the national security of the United States following the issuance of a public notice proposing such determination and a public report to Congress submitted not less than 30 days before such determination describing the specific national security concerns involved and containing a classified annex and a description of what assets would need to be divested to execute a qualified divestiture. So he has to make a public report to Congress about this, but it doesn't sound like he needs approval from Congress. He just has to report to them about it. And then he can describe what he feels the company needs to do in order to escape the civil penalties outlined here, to not be a qualified entity or whatever anymore, which is what the divestiture would be. And then foreign adversary country. The term foreign adversary country means a country specified in section 4872, subsection D2, Title 10, the U.S. Code. Okay, so we can look at this to figure out exactly what a foreign adversary country is. So you can see here, like the U.S. Code, we go to here, acquisition of sensitive materials from non-allied foreign nations prohibitions. So this is going to give us a definition for foreign adversary country, and it's in subsection D2. So we're going to scroll down to D. And then subsection 2, covered nations. The term covered nation means the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, the People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation, and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay. So it's just, so I don't know if this code gets updated by Congress. I guess when they want to add, does Congress have to pass a new law then? This is like hard coding instead of using a, whatever. Is this so you have to pass a law? Your first choice is not the Supreme Court, so this must have already been filed in the DC Circuit, and then this is where it's going up to the Supreme Court. The people who are going to be suing in this case is going to be TikTok, and then the parties associated with TikTok, because I imagine that they're going to want to challenge. I don't know why. I guess you can't sue a law, and I guess they wouldn't sue Congress. They're suing the person that takes the action against them, because that's who they would have standing to take action against. So in this case, Merrick Garland is being called out as the defendant in this, because in the law that we read, it's the Attorney General, who's the head of the Department of Justice, who's the one taking legal action against them, or at least, or civil action, I guess, or whatever, by imposing some penalties. So they're suing him in order to get an injunction, basically saying you can't do this, I guess, because it's unconstitutional, I guess, whatever they're going to argue in here. And so Merrick Garland would be the defendant in this case. But it's not like, it wouldn't be Merrick Garland. Oh, they even say it here, yeah. It's not like Merrick Garland, the individual, is being sued. It's Merrick Garland in his official capacity as Attorney General of the United States. All right. Somebody said, should Russia have been allowed to invest in Tenet Company? Yes, there's no problem with that. The problem is that they hid it. They lied about it, which is a FAR violation, right? Does strict scrutiny really apply here? Let's say I'm banning McDonald's, but not Burger King. There's no protected class, right? Like, would that qualify as removing the right for fast food? No, you're banning my ability to have a company that does social media. That's definitely a fundamental right. It's freedom of speech, arguably one of our most important fundamental rights, right? But you would be a U.S. owner in that example, right? Isn't that what the bill wants TikTok to do? Remember, the bill said that there only has to be a 20% stake in a company for there to be a cause of action. A cause of action means there's a reason for a civil suit to go forth against your company. Unless I misread something. The controlled by a foreign adversary is an entity with respect to which a foreign person or combination of foreign persons described as subparagraph A directly or indirectly own at least a 20% stake. And this is an or, right? So it's either A or B or C, right? So for the Supreme Court, I don't know why, because of tradition or they're too lazy to do their makeup or something, I don't know.
There is a First Amendment right that the U.S. company has. I'll go that way.
Wait, holy fuck. Is this going to survive? I'm getting bad vibes right now. Wait, I'm feeling bad vibes right now. The reason why they don't like the algorithm is because they think that China's manipulating it in a way that is doing foreign propaganda. That's what they're trying to get rid of, and that implicates First Amendment right, which demands a strict scrutiny review. So the question is, why is there nothing about data protection or data security or data anything in here? And the answer is, maybe. The answer is because it won't impact the US social media companies. Why would we want to regulate them in any way, size, shape, or form? Ooh, I think that moves me. I think I'm moving much further in support of TikTok and ByteDance here. All of these things will solely, for the purposes of data protection, this shit. In fact, you could argue that this act is criminalizing a thing that Facebook, X, and Google could just legally start doing. Imagine it could literally be there's no law against this. Let's say that this law goes through, TikTok and ByteDance are out, and tomorrow Meta says, or they wouldn't announce probably, Meta engages and they'll declare it a FAR, they'll do what they need to. But let's say that ByteDance on China's side says, oh, hey, Meta, we just want to start buying all your user data. Is that cool? And Meta's like, yeah, sure, we'll sell it all to you. Is there a law preventing that? They would just do that. So the same thing that we'd be worried about happening with TikTok and ByteDance could literally just happen with any other company. How you doing?
Curious, how do you feel about do you think this could be turned on like T-Mobile?
Are they owned by a foreign company?
Yeah, they're a German-owned company.
Is it a German adversary? Germany's not our adversary, though, no?
Are we at war with China?
No, but they're designated as a foreign adversary.
I mean, Germany's done spying on the U.S., I guess, right? Is it like literally just if, for instance, coming into the new administration, if Trump just decides they don't like a specific country, that any of the people
law
there
is, I think the law has to be foreign adversary controlled company. So it's right now, those are designated as China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia.
Who creates this list?
I think it has to be updated by congressional statute. So Congress has to pass a law or something changing it.
Interesting.
Don't forget Venezuela and Cuba. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, if this law is supposed to protect U.S. data so much, why are there carve-outs for other types of companies, and why does the language team protect TikTok search procedure? Only companies. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. It does feel like a pretty narrowly focused law on just TikTok. But I don't think this matters. This isn't relevant to the law. This TikTok is going to be banned 100%. Unless Trump does crazy shit with the government. But he won't with all of his new American friends. TikTok is 1 trillion% out of here. That's my feeling.
How do you feel about companies that are owned by, let's say, Chinese nationals, but they operate it out of like the British Virgin Islands?
That's the law. It makes it so that you can't be a foreign adversary national as well.
So that would affect Telegram then?
I don't know if Telegram is a...
Well, it's owned by 2 Russian nationals, but it's not based in Russia anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know if Telegram is a social media platform. Hold on. It has to permit a user to create an account or profile to generate, share, and view text, images, videos, real-time communications, or similar content. Has more than 1 million monthly active users with respect to at least 2 of the 3 months preceding the date to which a relevant determination. Does Telegram have over 1 million active users?
Fucking A.
Monthly active users, it should. Enables 1 or more users to generate or distribute content that can be viewed by other users of the website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application. You can make Telegram groups, right?
Yep.
And it enables
I think
one
that's the
or
main way
more-
that like America First does shit.
What is who owns Telegram?
Well, it's just two Russian dudes, but I think they hate Russia, but
Are they
they're still
Russian?
Russian national.
Citizens? Oh, then this would probably impact them as well.
Another one is like VK.com, which is like a pretty. I mean, I don't know if that's like really used that big, but Yandex is another huge ass one. I know that they have some APIs that like American developers use. That would definitely fall under it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, assuming these are all owned by people that are part of those foreign adversaries, then possibly, yeah.
So what does it take to get put on this foreign adversary list?
I don't know. I don't know how they passed the law for that.
I assume it's something that Trump can't just be like, you know what, South Korea, foreign adversary.
I think it has to be by congressional statute because I saw it written in the U.S. code. So I think it has to be like Congress has to pass a law, I think.
It also, it doesn't really make sense because there's only 6 things in here. Like Yemen's not in here. Um, like Somalia is not in here. Like I
Is
imagine these are
Somalia
also.
an enemy of the United States? U.S. adversary?
I would think so. Yeah, you don't think so? Aren't they like
Hate
hijacking our
Toronto's
ships?
that much?
Don't they literally hijack American ships? I think they're not. They're not
Well,
our fucking ally.
there's a difference between Somalian nationals, like, or citizens of Somalia hijacking our ships versus like it being done by the government, right?
Uh,
So no, I think that non-state actors or like terrorists are going to be treated a lot differently than.
okay, well, like Syria is not on the list. Who are some other places that probably do not love us that much? Belarus is not on the list. What do you think? Are we like? Do we have good relationships with the
I don't know if
Democratic
having good or
Republic of
bad
Congo?
relationships is the same as it being an adversary, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't even know what the. I have no idea. I don't know how any of these are determined. I have no idea. Have you seen Zuck has cucked himself completely to the Trumple?
Well, more than last night. What's he done now?
I haven't watched it yet because I don't have time today. But there's apparently he did a whole Joe Rogan episode. Oh boy,
Another Jesus. Why?
they're all making the rounds, dude. They're all coming to bow and kiss the ring and be part of the conservative circuit.
Damn. When's Dan Clancy gonna go and meet with Trump? That's what I want to know.
True.
Dan can't stream. Did you see this? Facebook. Under Meta's relaxed hate speech rules, users can now post, "I'm a proud racist," or, "Oh my Jesus. Wow. Okay. Well, damn. How do you feel about this TikTok ban? I think it's bad just because it seems fucking stupid. Like, I don't know if this is going to stop China from doing anything that it was going to do already. Like, I understand. The main reason, I don't even think it's the manipulation shit. I think it's, unironically, the blackmail stuff is like the most dangerous part of it. Like the idea in like 10 years, they could go and be like, "Hey, remember when you searched for this? Yeah, we remember. You're spying for us now."
Yeah. I mean, I understand that.
What do you think is the biggest issue the U.S. has with it? Like,
I mean,
not
probably
the-
that's the one that the Solicitor General like outlined is the idea of blackmailing citizens for stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, as a matter of law, I think it's probably a fair ban. I think that there's a lot of issues with domestic companies being able to do this too, though, right?
Yeah, you know the other thing that I did not buy for a fucking second? This whole thing, like our algorithm is so complex and our tech stack is so, it would take years to move it. Like, what are you talking about, bro? It's like they're fucking creating nuclear fission over there when they decide which cat video to serve to me next. Get the fuck out of here. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. I guarantee
It's
they could spin that
probably,
shit off.
I would argue, it's probably much more difficult than nuclear fusion or fission or whatever the fuck. Fission bombs have been around for fucking 80 years. There were
I
a
was
lot.
yes, I understand.
No, I'm just saying that like that algorithm and the sophistication of TikTok was probably TikTok came in when short form content was like considered not viable, right? Vine had just died. Like nobody else was really making headway here. And now like every company tried to jump into the race after TikTok like trailblazed that path, no?
And do you think that the algorithm that they have is the reason that they had success there?
Yeah, of course. That's literally what the whole business model is built on, right?
No, I think it's based on getting views for your shit, right? So for content creators, making money, pushing out shit, people go wherever there's
Getting
money, wherever
views
there's
for your
users.
shit, but how do you get views? How do you serve videos to each person, right? It has to do with how it's algorithmically determined, right?
Yes, I understand this. I just don't buy into it would take multiple years to move this over from X to Y. It's f***ing stupid.
What do you mean to move what? To move
They
it
said
over?
it would take years to spin out this company to be its own thing from China's ByteDance, whatever they have.
Well, no, I'm sure they could spin it out immediately. Well, not immediately.
Yeah, they
sorry. It would
could.
take time, but I mean, like, there's no guarantee that I don't know what the structure of the company is, but there's no guarantee that ByteDance would allow them to keep the same algorithm and everything, right?
I mean that's fine. Like if they want to bitch, like, oh well, we don't want to spin it out because it's too cool. We want to make it shit. Like okay, that's fine.
Well, I'm saying that if they had to go and restart the company without whatever stuff ByteDance owned, like if TikTok closed and reopened, then I don't think they would.
No, I don't buy into that anyway either. So you're saying that it would be very difficult for them to release it with with a as is because they're like, oh, we can't. The algorithm's too good. We'd have to do something else. Fine, do a shittier algorithm and have someone pay less for it. That's all, right?
Yeah,
like,
sure, but then TikTok would probably collapse and it would just be completely eaten by Instagram.
Well, then
and,
sounds like you should include a slightly better algorithm than that.
well, yeah, but they did, but now ByteDance is going to shut it down, right?
I mean, I guess we'll see. They're going to have to decide what the value is, like, because I imagine they might just go to Microsoft, say, you want to buy this shit, but without the algorithm, and then Microsoft will be like, yeah, that's fine, and we do it. And I don't understand why they wouldn't do that at that point.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is my ultra scorching hot take, is I think TikTok is just going to shut down and be gone completely. No rebranding or anything.
No, I don't think so. I think that they'll probably make it. I mean, I would imagine they'll make a deal to sell it and then just be like, make your own algorithm.
Why though?
If you're
Let's say
saying
that
that they
you're-
value that algorithm that much, first off, I don't believe they do.
Well, if you're
I don't.
China, why the would you want the U.S. to benefit from that? Why would you want to give that to a U.S. company?
Because it's natural that just something else will take over. Like, I mean, again,
Yeah, but why would you want to help them? Why wouldn't you just say,
well, you're
shut it
getting
down?
paid versus losing money.
Do you
Money
think
is still
China
important.
needs the money of a sale of TikTok?
No, you don't need it, but it's still money's money, you know?
Yeah, but why is somebody buying it? They're buying it because it's worth it to them. If you were China, why would you ever do something to prop up a new massive U.S. company?
I feel like it's going to come naturally. Like, essentially, if TikTok leaves, that probably means, was it YouTube Shorts or Snapchat is most beneficial in that spot?
Yeah,
we'll
they'll
just
take over.
pick it up, right?
Yeah.
So I think that happens naturally as a result of, naturally as a result of just like not selling it anyways. At least this way they're getting paid. The other way, I do
You
not
keep
see
saying
the
getting paid, and if the ultimate owner is China, why would China care to get paid?
You don't, well, what do you mean? I don't understand. You think countries don't like money? They like money.
I don't think this is any money for China. This is like a rounding error for them. No. What is TikTok worth?
That's a good question. We know Twitter was worth how much did Elon pay? 40 billion.
Does ByteDance own anything besides TikTok?
Well, what else do they have besides TikTok? Have we
Apparently a
figured
bunch
that
of
out?
shit. But it's companies and shit I don't recognize. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be gone.
You really think they won't sell it? That's crazy. I mean, I listen. I would say I would take a bet with you if this ban goes through that they will sell it, probably with no algorithm. If I had to guess, if you think it's that important, then they'll just be like, you want all the users in the domain and all this other shit? Here you go. But we're taking this version. Then, like, that would be my assumption. I don't believe it at all that the quote unquote algorithm is that crazy. I'm not saying it's not good. I just don't think it's like, yeah, this is the $1 billion algorithm we've decided. You know, it's like
You're saying you make it seem like it's so trivial when TikTok isn't TikTok the single largest social media app in the world? Like this might be an industry that does more revenue than like the U.S. Department of Defense or something. Like
I'm not
this is
saying
like
it's
you're
so
acting like,
trivial,
oh, like it's just like an algorithm, LOL.
No,
but like
no,
it is
it
it is
is
probably
just
one
like
of the
an
most
algorithm.
expensive, like highest revenue generating, attention generating things potentially in the history of the planet. Like
I understand the algorithm is important, but I do not think it's everything in all-encompassing.
I think it
There's
literally is
marketing,
everything.
There's existing established user bases.
Yeah, that all's nice
there's
too,
an
but that was all
influx of
built.
new content. There's maintaining partner structure. Like
All of
any
this
of these
is,
things could have the company
and
fail.
anybody
right?
can do every single one of those things that you mentioned. Everybody can do any of those things, but the algorithm is the thing that sets TikTok apart from everything else.
I don't believe that if you're using YouTube Shorts, that if you had a blind experience and you browse both things, I don't think that the experience would be that much different for you. I think it'd be just as good. I think that the value of TikTok comes primarily from the fact that it is a standalone social network, much in the same reason that Instagram has remained as a standalone social network and has not been merged into anything else. It's because people want to have that be its own existing silo, and not be part of something else. It's the reason why every single Google social network has failed. It's because people do not view Google as a place where you do social media. That's like, you don't shit where you work. And literally, Google for a lot of people is like where they work. It's where their email is. It's where their search is. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to use this as a utility. And as a result of that, you're going to always fail as a thing. Like that's the reason that Instagram
I think the issue
to this
is,
day is not Facebook
I'm going to give a hot
photos.
take. I think it's just because I just don't think people use like social media anymore. We just don't exist in your and my definition of social media. Like social media in our mind used to be you go to a place and you write down your thoughts and feelings and you post things and stuff about yourself and all. It's like a blog, basically. That was like social media is like a blog. I think that social media is redefined now as basically media. So pictures and videos and stuff. And I think this is what drives social media these days. So when Google's social media stuff failed, it's because they were trying to recreate blogs and stuff. But what people just want is they want to be able to post like a picture with a caption. I think that's why like things like Instagram are so popular. And so they want media and they want to be able to chat with people. I think that's the only two things people want from a social media platform. We don't need like walls anymore or blogs or anything like that.
Yeah, like consumption based. Yeah. But like, for instance, even looking at something like Reddit, which I think it's still mostly open source at this point, right? Like, I don't think that Reddit does a bad job at being Reddit. I think when you go on there, you can browse for a while and spend a lot of time. I think I probably spend more time on Reddit than I do any other social network. And YouTube Shorts exist. I'm on YouTube. I do not find myself falling down the YouTube Shorts pipeline.
Isn't that evidence that YouTube Shorts is kind of not that great then?
Well, I'm not falling down the TikTok pipeline either.
How often do you browse TikTok?
Rarely. Never.
Well, then how could you ever fall down that pipeline?
Because I have, and I just don't find it compelling enough to be on there.
Okay. You're obviously a unique case though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you're literally, what do you mean you don't think so when TikTok is the largest social media app in the world?
I think that it's network effects of the people that I know never talk about TikTok. You are not on TikTok, like talking about it, right? You're banned. People I know aren't on
I'm
it.
not
So
banned.
there's no...
Number one, Stephen Van II is there. But number two, TikTok is not like a social media app that you like hang out on, like you chatting with people as much. I think it's like consuming video content, right?
And creating video content and following people that you do and interacting with other people on there, like it's basically the same thing as YouTube, and for a lot of cases, like people have TikTok profiles on the web. Even you don't need to use the mobile app; you can still do that. Like,
I would be surprised if like more than 2% of TikTok's like data consumption or whatever was on a desktop.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that. You're asking me why it's not successful on me, and it's because everyone that I know, for the most part, chooses not to interact with it in a meaningful way.
Sure.
So I would say that the value of TikTok is not just the algorithm. It doesn't matter how well it serves me fucking shit if my particular social group isn't represented well on the platform, right? They haven't reached out and pushed to get my creators that I care about exclusively releasing content on that. So I don't go there.
But yeah, but then you're going to be like in a niche like category, right?
I mean, the same category you are. You're not using it either.
I'm also probably pretty niche though, right?
I guess.
I don't think I'm representative of an average consumer much at all. But I don't consume hardly any content other than my house clips.
Sure, House Clips is a great example. Like, I like House. I watched that shit. It's fantastic.
I don't know why we're so focused on China controlling the narrative compared to the surveillance capabilities. It's what's in the background of the videos that matters. They likely track and monitor license plate locations, etc. Thank you, Alexander Silva.
I don't even know if that's fucking true. Like that. There's so much that we give up willingly that you can just get without going through all that bullshit. Yeah, I don't know.